Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. It is now 2024, it's a new year, it's a new video, and we've also got a new tool joining us here in the workshop. As our experience with stainless steel grows, it only seemed right to get a stainless steel weld cleaner. Really important, and it helps you get those nice clean welds and get rid of all that good looking discoloration. So we purchased a Fronius Magic Cleaner 150, and in today's video we're going to dig into the machine, weld some stainless and see if we can clean it. So here we are, here is the Fronius Magic Cleaner 150. Now this is my first Fronius machine. I've always been a fan of the brand, and this just felt like the right machine for us. There's not a huge amount of competition on the market, although the products are very similarly priced, but this one stood out. It had good reviews, so we decided to go for it. But here we're just starting, looking around the machine. You can see it's a very simple analog front. We've got our accessories to the side and a big 16 amp 3-pin socket. Now this is what comes with the kit. We bought the very basic kit that comes with it, and it's just enough to get you set up and ready to clean, etch, and yeah, use this machine. So each little box has a different part in it. So here you can see the brush with the adapter, very nice and easy to store. And we've also got some other bits. So with the brush you also get a polishing pad, which can be used in different scenarios, as we're going to find out. And yeah, it's nicely stored. You get a mixture of polishing pads and sizes, which is handy. We probably will buy a load more of these because I can imagine they get pretty dirty pretty quickly. But moving on to the main tool is your holder and I suppose your fluid dispenser. The beauty of this kit is the fluid comes all through this nozzle and there is no dipping. With that overview sorted, giving you an idea of what we're going from and to, let's take this 304 stainless bar. I think it's about 40-50mm wide. Let's chop it up into some segments and give ourselves a load of samples that we can weld and discolour as much as possible, and then try to clean. So a trip to the bandsaw, let's get this sorted. With that plan in place, we get into cutting up some material ready to clean. And as mentioned, I've gone for some stainless 304 bar. Now, being realistic, the main use of this machine for us will be on something like 316 grade, but to be honest, if I'm ever going to weld stainless, I'm now going to clean the weld, so it is very applicable and useful for testing. On top of that, 304 is also far cheaper than 316, so a bar like this set me back around £25, so I cannot complain. We have got that flat bar cut up. It is coming in at 5mm thick, so it's a nice solid bit of stainless, and it's going to allow us to put a load of heat in it and hopefully make it change colour, because then we have something to clean, which is the whole point of this machine. So we've got 4 sets of things to weld, a weld each side. So in total there'll be 8 welds, front and back. My plan is, as you're going to see now, we're going to label up each one. I think we're going to do a 100 amp pass, a 150 amp pass, and we're going to clean one with the polishing pad, and then clean one with the brush, and just see the difference, see how it works, what happens, is one better, is one not. There's obviously a load of functionality behind just cleaning. You can print and etch, but let's start simple so we can get the hang of it. And for those who aren't very familiar with stainless or cleaning, like myself originally, this does more than just removing the colour. It also passivates the weld, which in layman's terms means it adds more corrosion resistance to the weld. Because you think stainless, 304, 316 is better for corrosion resistance, but you think it's never going to rust. But actually, if you left a 304 out in the atmosphere for a long period of time, the welds bring in impurities and you can get corrosion in that weld joint. So it does go one step further, hence the cost of these machines. But if you want bulletproof stainless welds, this is the way you do it. And to keep well organised, we're going to get the permanent marker out and mark up each sample just so we know at the end what we've welded. And now it's going to be time to sink our teeth into some welding and get these brackets tacked up. I'm just getting them tacked now so they're all set and ready to be welded in one big hit. So they are all tacked up and they are by no means gonna be flat because they're thick metal parts. I'm not fixturing whatsoever. I'm on a flat table, but I'm pumping a load of heat into this part so it's gonna move. But we don't care because all I want to do is clean the weld. And without realising, I'm almost added another variable because one side is fully prepped and the other isn't. So actually, we're going to see whether a clean prep surface or unprepped surface, does it have any impact to the cleaning process? Hopefully not, but we'll find out. Now we're going to get into some actual welding. We're starting off with the 100 amp pass, and as said, it's a thick bit of material. It does suck the heat up, but it is nice and fun to practice laying big welds like this. Rarely do I do a joint like this, so it's a nice change. And as I've mentioned, they're warping everywhere and actually vibrating. But nonetheless, it is fun. We're getting some big welds down, and we're going to see how these turn out. It is freezing in here, but the welds are looking nice. So let's have a close up at them so you've kind of got a before of what's coming out straight into these parts. And here are the welds. I've done better, I've done worse. I think they're pretty nice, and for what we want, they're going to be bang on. Not going to make excuses, but it was probably -2 in this workshop, so I was feeling the cold. But now it's time to get some more heat into them and go for the 150 amp pass. And now this was really at the limit of my tungsten. You're going to see in a second when I pull away, the end is actually starting to break up. So I really am pushing it with this setup, but a fresh tungsten each time and we get through it. With the welding finished, this is what we are left with, ready to be cleaned. 4 nice double-sided samples that we can go and test a brush and a polishing pad against and see if we can get these nice and shiny silver. With those all welded up, I'm going to leave these to cool as you normally would and go about setting up the machine. So I'm going to show you how it goes together, the fluids involved, and process to start cleaning. It's actually pretty simple to put one of these together, very much like a welder in the fact you've got power and you've got a positive and a negative. So we take the ground cable and that goes into our positive terminal, and then on the negative side we have got the torch, and this happens to be a very small wire, which surprised me considering the ground was big. I was expecting this to be of similar size. So we're set up, we've got the torch, the ground, we've got power to it, and the next 2 things you're going to need are some fluids. So the first one is your cleaning slash polishing red, as they call it, and this goes straight into the back of the torch, as I'll show you in a minute. And this is what's essentially going to come out the tip of this onto your brush or pad and create the cleaning action. Following your cleaning, you're going to need some neutralizer. So yeah, as it says, it neutralizes the process. You go in with your cleaning bristle pad or polishing or brush for us, and then you're going to finish it off with some neutralizer and wipe it down. Now all of this came as a part of the kit with this machine. As mentioned, I'm learning as well, so if I do make any mistakes, point them out, let me know, and I'm sure next time you see me using it, I'll be much better. So, moving towards our dials, let's see what they're for. It's a very simple analog machine. You have 1, 2, 3 and that is essentially the power / strength of the machine. And over here you have your settings. You've got AC clean, DC polish, brush, print and print. We're going to roll through these, and we're probably going to be on a DC polish and a brush to see where they come out. Down the line I'm looking to put some logos on some stainless where we will come in with this print feature, but for now let's look at polish and brush. So we're kicking off with the 150 amp sample. We're on power level 2 and we've got a polish pad in the head. I've primed plenty of fluid into that pad so it is nice and wet, and you can see that it is doing a really good job at cleaning it up. A small squirt of the neutralizer actually helps to be quite generous with this, and that's the first one done. Now, for my first go at this, I have to say that is pretty cool to see. I know it's such a simple thing, but you can imagine when you've got mass of welds to do, maybe a tank of sorts or lots of piping, having something like this is ideal. You can see in this one we have got a stop and start in the middle of the weld, which has left a pinhole, which isn't ideal, but for this testing purpose I am not worried. And I have to say, considering that was the backside that was not prepped at all, that has done very well. And you've just seen there we've pinged up to number 3 on the power setting, and straight away this has got a bit more grunt and it is visibly and audibly louder, but it's cleaned up that small weld really nicely. And with those two first parts cleaned, we slide in the brush, and you can see it's an Allen key, 1 bolt, so nice and easy. Now, the mistakes I made of this to start was not priming the head enough, so we actually had quite a dry brush to start. But once I got some fluid in there, it was much easier. And the beauty of this was it just followed the contours of the weld. I felt like there was no hard pressure, you could almost just let it rest back and forward and it will find its way into all the crevices. As it stands, they have both been pretty successful. All of the parts are looking extremely shiny, and I feel like with a bit more practice, a bit more understanding, I'll be able to use this machine to its full potential and put this to work on proper parts. So, what have I proven? Well, I think I've proven that if you spend a lot of money on a really expensive weld cleaner, it actually works pretty well. All jokes aside, that was pretty fun to do, and do you know what? It's good to cut your teeth with a new bit of equipment and work out where you are with it. The polishing pad and the brush, side by side, do you know what? They were both really good at cleaning the welds, both on the prep side and the non-prep side. It's a pretty bulletproof machine in terms of can you get it wrong? Not really. But some close-ups are on the screen now. Obviously you can see it's taken all of the colour out of the welds. I did have one small error with the brush where I didn't have enough fluid going through it. So maybe that's one thing to keep an eye on, actually having enough fluid on your tip or brush to make it clean properly. The neutralizer, nice and easy, cannot complain. So yeah, overall I would say very successful. I feel like the brush would be suitable for maybe those awkward joints where you need the brush to fill and flow around the area, and the polishing pad seems perfect for an outside corner joint or something like that. But overall I am very impressed, and I should be. I think this machine retails around £2,000, so not cheap, but if you're cleaning stainless you want to do it right. One thing I do particularly like was the fact the cleaning fluid screws into the back of the tip. You will notice if you're looking at these machines, a lot of them come with a pot of fluid where you have to dip your tip in before you do it. Sounds kind of not a big deal, but it's quite a messy process, and the cleaner it can be, the better. It wasn't a review and it wasn't a tutorial, it was just me getting to grips with some new machinery, keeping on top of my welding skills and preparing for a stainless steel project slash job that comes up in the future. I really do hope that you guys all enjoyed it. We're nearing that 1,000 subscriber mark. For me, that'll be a big milestone. I do really enjoy making the videos, but it's great when people watch them and share them and I can get as many viewers as possible. But there will be more content coming soon. We're back to the monkey bike. We've got a big project lined up later in the year. So if you are looking forward to that and want to keep in tune with it all, do subscribe, do like it, do follow me on Instagram. But that is all from me today. I really do hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take it easy.